the marketing world?
Yeah, good question. So I started legally started in 2014, IT and web design. I had a lot of customers. I was doing things on the side, and I had an opportunity at the time to make it official and sign them all on, and so we did that. We're doing campus-wide Wi-Fi build-outs for a lot of private schools, a lot of cybersecurity at the time. And I felt businesses, and we had a lot of schools at the time, they weren't really investing what they should have been. Not throwing them all under the bus now, but they weren't investing what they should have been in cybersecurity. I mean, we were doing things with one-to-one programs. Every kid gets a device that when they take it home, it's still filtered. If they go to grandma's house, it's still being filtered through the school network. We had those capabilities back then. Now it's a standard, right? But back then, schools really weren't doing it. It cost a little extra money. They just didn't want to do it. And one or two of my customers did. And finally I said, you know what? This is crazy. It's just not profitable for me. So I felt there was more of a need on the website stuff, on the marketing stuff. And so we made a pivot. I had a friend that was starting an IT company, said, hey, you want your first 5 or 6 customers? Here you go. They're good. They're good, reliable, customers. And so I handed those off to him and then went all in on the marketing stuff.
How difficult was it to make that decision to hand off? Like, people, I think often there's that's like sunk cost fallacy of like, oh, I went into this thing. Like, we did it with it's a small example, but there's all those desks on the floor taken apart out there, which we're taking out today. We built those new desks that are out there and took apart those big desks, big giant tables that we were using. And, I was kind of like, Eric, do we need to get rid of this table? And like, do we need to keep it for anything? Yeah. And he was like, no, we have these things now. Like, unless we're going to use those tables for something else, but they're too big anyway, we should probably just get a smaller like conference table. And I was like, he was like, why? Do you think we need to keep it? And I was like, no, it's probably just a like sunk cost fallacy in my head. It's like it's hard to let go of.
It wasn't that difficult of a decision because we were starting to get into the marketing stuff with some of these clients anyway. It was the hardest part was saying to people, hey, we can't renew your contract because we don't do this anymore. I was just right out of college. I had no idea what I was doing. Now I know how to say these things to people. But I just felt there was, listen, you can't be everything to everyone. Even with what we do now in marketing, I always say we're not good for everyone. And that's okay. I don't want everyone's business. I don't want to be, the next, biggest, $500 million marketing firm. I think there's plenty of fish in the sea. There's plenty of business out there. And I think there's a good fit for everyone.
That's funny. I was saying a content idea to the team yesterday where I was inspired by seeing some other marketing agencies out there, and it was basically
so it wasn't me.
It wasn't you. It was some other agencies that will go unnamed, that they were like marketing themselves as specialists.
Yeah.
Right. Like, oh, we're marketing specialists. And then I went on their website and it was like SEO, content, website development, ad spend, all like 18 different things that they were specialists in. And it's like, you're a team of 4.
You can't be everything.
How are you
to
a
everyone.
specialist in 18 things? So the idea was like, if your marketing team is a specialist at everything, like, then they're not a specialist at anything.
I'm actually glad you brought that up. And if you come to our site, for an example, and what we do, listen, I'll be honest. Yeah, there's stuff on there that's listed that we don't do, but we have partners that we can bring in for those particular projects. And, I've never niched down to only web design or only SEO because, we'll use those two things as examples.
Well, they work
hand in hand. I don't understand, listen, I'm sure the SEO only agencies out there are very, very good at SEO, right? But as it evolves, you need to build out landing pages. Who's doing that? Are you just going to assume that these templates already exist? Because 9 out of 10 times they don't. You go to add a new page on someone's site, it breaks, it's whatever, So you need the web development piece. You need the design piece. So those pieces really go hand in hand. And then we tie paid in, right, to this. Those are really our 4 areas of expertise: are marketing strategy, web design and development, SEO, AI search, and paid ads. We used to do email marketing. We used to do social media. used to do branding and graphic design, used to do all those things. And finally, to your point, you can't be specialists in everything.
Mhm.
What are we really good at? And what are the needs of our customers? And I had someone working for us a few years ago that we were on the brink of needing to bring on another team member in a certain department. And I said, well, just because we need it this very second doesn't mean in 2 months we're going to need it. We might need another web dev or something. And she was like, well, what are you talking about? And I said, well, our clients' needs are going to dictate how this firm grows,
Mhm.
right? I don't want to dictate that and start turning people away.